What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment bringing another video today. And today I'm going to be bringing you another weekly installment of Toronto Raptors Weekly. And what I wanted to talk about is something that's been on my mind for a while. Haven't did a video about it. But I was actually watching some videos this week. Actually, a lot of them yesterday. Watched about 3 episodes of it. And if you're really interested in the Raptors, like I am, definitely watch this series. It's not the first time I saw it, but this is the first time I've really watched the videos and watched them all the way through. What I'm talking about is if you go back and you watch, they're on YouTube, it's Toronto Raptors, they got their own YouTube channel, and they got a series called Open Gym. Definitely check that out. They have a whole lot of interesting stuff on the Toronto Raptors, stuff about, players' backgrounds, background stories, stuff going on with the season, behind the scenes, real interesting stuff. And last night I definitely watched a good 2 or 3 episodes of that, and it's real great stuff. But one of the episodes that I did watch was from a 2014 episode, and it was about Vince Carter. So what I wanted to ask and just discuss briefly today is this: do you actually forgive Vince Carter, and have you got over what he did, and have you forgiven him for what he did and how he left Toronto the way he did? I mean, it's a huge topic, I think, in my mind. Especially if you're a hardcore Raptors fan, this is probably something that's probably still stuck with you. So, if you have any thoughts or anything like that, definitely leave them in the comment section below and discuss it. I'd be very interested to get your take on it and see how you feel about him still. Now, I do know that, believe it or not, it seems like yesterday to me, but it's been a long time since he's been on the team, and there may be people watching this right now that never ever saw Vince Carter play for the Raptors or play when he was really in his prime. So you may want to check up on him if you're too young to really have known him play in his heyday. Before you really comment on it, if you're still a Raptors fan but you don't really know, definitely check out, just Google him, watch him on YouTube, and just see the highlights, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, do people still hold a grudge against him, or people still against him? I mean, the man is still playing. He's on Memphis right now. He just turned 40, and he's still doing his thing. I mean, obviously he's not, a starter or anything like that. He's a role player at this point in time, averaging like 8 points a game, helping them win games still. But are you still mad at him, or do you still hold a grudge? Have you forgiven him for what he did? As I mentioned before, some people don't know what he did because you never watched him play on the Raptors. You may not have been a Raptors fan then, or you may not even have been on this planet when he was playing. But just a brief rundown of, his career. I mean, I got to give the man credit where credit is due. When he was playing at his peak, he was by far the most electrifying player in the NBA. I don't think anyone was really close to him at that point in time, as far as just the amount of awe and excitement that he bring. And, I got to give it to him. He really put the Raptors on the map as far as being this basketball team, a team to be taken seriously, a team that people were excited to watch. I mean, you got a player as good as Kevin Durant that said back in the day he was a Raptors fan just from watching Vince Carter and McGrady play, stuff like that. So, I mean, that was big. I especially in the 2000 dunk contest where him and McGrady, showcased it out. Um, he did a whole lot of great things for Toronto basketball, and he definitely was the catalyst. I mean, we've always, for the most part, don't get me wrong, we've had some bad struggles, some real awful draft picks, but, for the most part, we've been competitive since, the franchise was introduced. I mean, like I said, we didn't always, we weren't having winning seasons or anything like that, but we were always competing. People didn't necessarily want to play us because on any given night we could, come out with the victory. But, the early on when Damon was here, we competed, but we were still that team up in Canada. No one really cared about us and the Grizzlies. And, it wasn't really until Vince got here that we really started winning. I mean, for God's sakes, we were playing in the Sky Dome. And, that in itself was awful. So once we moved out of the Sky Dome, moved to the ACC, it was right around the same time that Vince got drafted. And it just propelled our team to another level. And, he had a nice run. The only thing that, kind of got in the way of that was injuries. That really set him back from really, really being the player that he could have been. He went from half man, half amazing to half man, half a season. And, it just really cut down on him reaching the full potential of what he could have been as a basketball player. But, the last year that he was a Raptor, before he got traded to the Nets, which are now, it was the New Jersey Nets, now the Brooklyn Nets. But, basically, I don't know the entire reasoning behind him not wanting to be here anymore, but it was fairly evident that he didn't want to be here in his last season before he got traded. I mean, his numbers were way down. Like, he had been averaging, anywhere, about 25 to 26, 27 points a game. The last season, his shooting numbers were way down. He was averaging just over 20 points a game. There were some fourth quarters that, he didn't even play. They just held him. They just kept him on the bench. And, he made it very, very obvious that he wanted to get traded. It killed his draft, not his draft, but his trade value to the point where we couldn't get anything for him. When we traded him to the Nets, all we got back in return was Eric Williams, Aaron Williams, and Alonzo Mourning, who never wanted to play for us. And Raptors fans have never forgot that one. Still boo him to this day for that foolishness. But, he really set our franchise back a whole bunch with him wanting to be out. And not only that, but I remember, and I don't know if the story is true or not, but I remember it was Richard Jefferson at the time he was on the Nets. And I remember somewhere reading that he was saying that Vince was shouting out our plays that we were going to run just to kind of sabotage us. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. And that could be why he wasn't playing in the fourth quarter of games. But it was a real ugly separation. I hated to see him go because of what he brought to the city, but if you're gonna do that to the franchise and bring us down, then yeah, you need to go. And like I said, it set us back. It really set us back a while, and it took a while for us to recover back from that. So, are people still upset with him? Remember the last few times that he's come to the ACC, to be honest with you, the reception has got a little bit warmer every single time. Remember that first year that he came back here was, I mean, it was awful. And, you know, over the years, it's got a little bit better, to the point where I think when I was watching an episode of Open Gym, it was mixed results, and that was 2 years ago. So I don't know what it was this year because I didn't watch the game, but it's interesting to see how people feel about him. How I feel personally, I mean, maybe I'm just someone who holds a grudge, but you know, I have a big thing about loyalty, and I felt that he was just so disloyal to the franchise, and just caused the franchise as a whole lot of harm. So I still have a grudge against him. I haven't let it go yet, and I don't know. Maybe after he retires, I'll let it go. I don't know. I know people are giving their opinion about, you know, we need to let it go, give him his props and all that stuff. And I'm not going to ever take anything away from what he did for the city or anything like that. But, man, I don't know. He just left so bad. I don't remember ever seeing or hearing him apologize for what he did. You know, I was just like, whatever, let's move on. And I never heard anything about that. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit still upset and haven't let it go. I probably will. But I'm interested to see how other people feel. Whether you guys still hold a grudge, whether you're still angry, upset with them, whether you've moved on. Maybe you cheer him on. Maybe you're a Grizzlies fan too, because he's on there. Though I will say that the two grudges that I still hold are his and hoping that we beat the Grizzlies. Even though they're still in Memphis, I will always feel that they're the team that came in the league with us and rival with us. So I'm always going to, even though geologically speaking, we're not the two teams from Canada anymore, and we have that rivalry, it's still the same franchise, so I still have that rivalry. But anyways, like I said, I'd like to hear and see what other people are thinking about it. I always think back to what could have been if McGrady had stayed and kept playing on with us. You know, how that would have been. I always felt that if McGrady had stayed instead of leaving, they had probably kept Butch Carter as the coach. I think that so many things would have been different with our franchise. And, I mean, I don't know, because I like how our team is now. And I guess if everything had gone the way it had gone and everyone had stayed, we wouldn't be the way we are now. So I don't know what to say, but I wish McGrady had stayed at the time. I think that we would have been a team that would have made it to the finals and probably won a championship if he had stayed. They had kept that nucleus and just built around that nucleus. I think that we would have won at least one championship. That's just my honest opinion. Because as soon as he moved on, you know, he became the superstar that he did. Funny enough, also hampered by injuries as well. But I hate that he left because of why he left. I know he's going to say he wanted Vince to be his own man and he had his own team. But that's all a bunch of crap, because he was going over there to be supposedly teamed up with Tim Duncan and Grant Hill. Tim Duncan decided he didn't want to leave San Antonio, and that was the best decision he ever made. And Grant Hill ended up never being the same after, you know, his multiple ankle surgeries. So it only became that way because he was forced upon being his own man in Orlando. But he was trying to form the first super team, the first big three, when he was going to Orlando. So, no, it wasn't about him being his own team and his own man, because he would have had two established NBA All-Stars that would have been playing with him had all that come to pass. It was just, to me, a matter of ego that he didn't want to be second fiddle to Vince. And I don't understand that, because, I mean, man, if you're winning, you're winning. Who cares who gets the ball? Who cares who's number one and number two? I mean, when you're winning 6 championships like the Bulls were with Jordan and Pippen, you think Pippen was caring that he was second fiddle to Jordan when he's got 6 rings? I don't think so. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So anyways, that's it for the video this week. We got a game tonight versus, funny enough, Orlando. Now that I mention it. But hopefully we win the game. We've been really, really struggling as of late. We won, versus Milwaukee for what that's worth. But we got to get something going on. The last video that I made before this about seriously needing to make a trade, it wasn't because of us losing to Philadelphia. I honestly made the video because I just see the writing that is on the wall that we're going to just be repeating what we did last year, where we just don't have enough ammunition to beat the better teams. And it's been apparent for all the teams that we played that are considered top tier teams. We just don't have enough to beat them. So hopefully it happens. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Definitely like the video if you like the content. Share it with as many people as you can if you can. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day.